Welcome to While We Were Distracted, the podcast where we explore topics that often get overshadowed in the rush of daily life.
Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us.
It's great to be here.
Today, we're going to try to, kind of unpack a big one.
Yeah.
One of those concepts that's been around for centuries, and you hear it all the time. But what does it actually mean?
Right.
We're talking about karma.
Yes.
We're going to be looking at a really dense book for this one.
Oh, yeah.
The Secret Doctrine by Helena Blavatsky.
Dense is putting it lightly.
Yeah, so this book is trying to, bridge science, religion, philosophy.
Big task.
Huge task.
Yeah.
So, if you're ready to go beyond what goes around comes around, stick with us and we'll try to break it down.
It's interesting, too, because, it's rooted in Eastern thought, but you see these echoes in Western traditions throughout history.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Blavatsky, she calls karma the unerring law of retribution. Like all caps bold.
It sounds intense.
Yeah, right.
A little intimidating.
Yeah, a little bit.
But it's not about like a cosmic scorekeeper,
Right.
tallying up your good deeds and your bad deeds.
Right.
It's not about punishment. It's more a universal principle
Okay.
of cause and effect.
Okay.
It impacts everything.
So actions, thoughts?
Even intentions.
Intentions, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so almost like gravity,
Yeah.
a law of physics.
Mm.
But instead of governing, planets,
Right.
it governs our actions and their consequences.
Precisely.
Okay.
And those consequences, they're not always right there in your face.
Okay.
Immediate.
The
They can
same-
ripple out
Okay.
across lifetimes.
Okay, so that brings us to reincarnation.
Right.
How does that fit in?
So Blavatsky describes it as the journey of the monad,
Okay.
the core of your being,
The monad.
through multiple lives.
Okay.
So imagine it starts way back
Okay.
in the mineral kingdom,
Okay.
pure potential,
Mm-hmm.
raw material of
Try
existence.
that.
Then it evolves through platforms,
Okay.
animal forms.
Yeah.
Each stage builds on the last one.
Yeah. So each of those stages represents a different level of karmic development.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the mineral stage
Yeah.
is fundamental existence.
Got it.
Then plant growth, reaching for the light,
Okay.
Animal stage, you start to see instinct,
Right.
desire.
Yeah.
And then finally you reach human form.
And that's where we are.
Right, where you have the
Yeah.
capacity for self-awareness,
Yeah.
making choices.
Conscious choices.
Yes,
Okay. So our actions are creating these ripples
they are.
that extend beyond this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So are we talking about cosmic payback?
Not exactly payback.
Oh, okay.
It's not about punishment.
Okay.
It's about growth.
Okay.
So each lifetime is like a chapter
Uh-huh.
in a much larger story.
Okay.
Karma is the thread
The thread. I like that.
that connects those chapters.
Okay.
Less about being punished for past misdeals,
Okay.
more about experiencing the natural consequences to
Right.
learn and evolve.
To grow.
Yeah.
Like that. So how do we even know about this thread?
Right.
How do we see these patterns?
So Blavatsky talks about karma cycles,
Okay.
vast cycles of time,
Okay.
impacting entire races.
Wow.
And then our individual cycles are woven within those.
So like a giant tapestry.
You got it.
Every action contributes to the overall pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So are these cycles predetermined?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
And a common misconception about karma,
Okay.
that it's fatalistic.
Yeah, it's all already set.
Right.
We have no choice.
But Blavatsky, she stresses free will.
Okay.
While past actions create momentum.
Yeah.
We're not puppets.
Why would-
We have the power to choose.
We have the power to choose, okay?
Yeah.
So we're not just at the mercy of fate.
Right.
We're holding the wheel,
You're steering the ship.
even if there's some rough seas
Exactly.
from past choices.
Yeah, and a lot of people oversimplify karma.
Okay.
This rigid system.
Yeah.
Reward punishment.
Good things happen to good people, bad things happen to bad people.
Right. And it misses the nuance.
It misses the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
About learning growth.
Potential for change.
Right.
It's a journey.
It is.
Okay, so speaking of different interpretations,
Mm-hmm.
Blavatsky brings up modern science.
Yeah.
That's kind of unexpected.
Yeah. She argues that science is kind of bumping into these karmic principles.
Really?
Unintentionally.
Okay.
So, some scientists have these theories about a vital force in nature
Okay.
driving evolution.
Right.
And that echoes this idea of an underlying intelligence guiding the universe,
Interesting.
which you see a lot in esoteric philosophies.
Right. Okay.
So it's like they're coming at it
Yeah.
from this material lens.
From a different angle.
Yeah, and Blavatsky, she has this great quote, "Modern science is ancient thought distorted and no more."
I like that.
So science and esoteric philosophy,
Yeah.
using different approaches,
Right.
but grappling with the same big question.
Right, about existence and consciousness and all that.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so we've got this ancient concept of karma,
Yeah.
cause and effect across lifetimes.
Mhm.
And modern science might be validating some of these ideas.
From a different perspective.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting when we can hold both those perspectives.
Yeah,
We open up a whole new dimension of
a
understanding.
whole new dimension.
It allows us to see the interconnectedness of everything
Wow.
and appreciate the workings of karma on a much deeper level.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's keep going.
All right, it really is. And speaking of journeys, we were talking about the monad's journey through the different life forms.
Yeah.
Let's dig into that a little bit more.
Okay, so we've got this monad, this spark of consciousness,
Right.
evolving through mineral, plant, animal
Mhm.
before reaching human form.
Right.
What's the significance of each of those stages?
So Blavatsky describes it as a process of gradual unfolding.
Okay.
So mineral kingdom,
Yeah.
pure potentiality, like we were saying,
Right.
the raw material.
Mm-hmm.
And then as it moves into the plant kingdom,
Okay.
it begins to express that life force.
Okay.
The urge to grow,
Okay.
reaching for the light.
So even plants are accumulating karma.
Yes.
Wow.
Every action,
Okay.
even on that simple level,
Okay.
creates those karmic ripples.
Interesting.
So in the plant kingdom,
Yeah.
it's about responding to the environment,
Okay.
seeking nourishment,
Right.
survival.
Right.
Those actions contribute to the journey.
So it's not like there's some starting point
Right.
where karma suddenly kicks in.
Exactly.
It's an ongoing process.
From the very beginning.
Okay, wow.
And then things get more complex in the animal kingdom.
Okay, how so?
You start to see instincts emerge, desires. The
Mm.
romad starts grappling with things like self-preservation, competition,
Interesting.
even like rudimentary forms of social interaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all of these experiences
Right.
are shaping the monad's karma,
They are.
leading up to human form.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's like, think of it like a painting.
Okay.
Each lifetime is a brushstroke,
A brush stroke.
adding depth and complexity
Oh, I like that.
to the canvas of your soul.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after countless lifetimes,
Right.
the monad reaches human form.
Right.
Is that the end goal?
Not even close.
Really?
That's just the beginning of a
whole new chapter. A whole new chapter.
Because in human form,
Mhm.
you have that potential for
Yeah.
self-awareness,
Yeah.
conscious choice,
Mhm.
spiritual growth.
Okay.
The goal from a karmic perspective
Yeah.
becomes liberation
Liberation from what?
from that cycle of birth and death.
So like escaping from the world.
No, not about escaping
Yeah.
or denying those earthly experiences.
Okay.
It's about transcending the limitations of ego
Okay.
and realizing our true nature as spiritual beings.
As spiritual beings.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about living with awareness, compassion,
Okay.
and a deep understanding of that interconnectedness.
Interconnectedness, that seems to be a recurring theme.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It is.
So as we evolve spiritually,
Mm-hmm.
our karma becomes less about reaching what we've sown
Right.
and more about consciously creating a positive future.
Yes.
Okay?
Imagine going from like
Okay.
being tossed around by the waves of karma
Yeah.
to becoming a skilled navigator,
Okay.
charting a course
I like that.
toward enlightenment.
Toward enlightenment.
Yeah.
And Blavatsky suggests that we can even accelerate
Yes,
our karmic evolution
she does.
through conscious effort,
Mm-hmm.
spiritual practices.
Yes. So, for example, she talks about altruism,
Altruism.
selfless service
Right.
as a way to generate positive karma
Okay.
and quicken your spiritual progress.
So it's not just about sitting back,
Right.
letting karma run its course.
It's not passive.
We can actively participate
Exactly.
in shaping our destiny.
Yes, both individually.
Okay. And collectively, so we can use our understanding of karma
Mm-hmm.
to make more conscious choices,
Mm-hmm.
create that ripple effect of positivity.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that brings us to another important point.
Okay.
Collective karma.
Collective karma. So
Yeah.
we're talking about the karma of a whole group of people.
Yes.
Okay.
Just as our individual choices create ripples,
Yeah.
the actions of groups, nations,
Wow.
even humanity as a whole create
Yeah.
this collective karmic landscape.
Okay. So like wars,
Yeah.
environmental destruction,
Right.
social injustices,
All of that.
those actions generate a collective karma
Mm-hmm.
that we're still dealing with.
We are.
So are we all responsible?
It's not about blame.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that interconnectedness.
Okay.
We can create negative collective karma, but
Yeah.
we can also create positive karma
Okay.
through collective action,
Right.
cooperation, compassion,
Compassion.
a shared vision for a better future.
So we're all in this together,
We are.
co-creating the karmic landscape.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how this all fits together.
Good.
Honestly, trying to grasp all the complexities of karma,
It can be a lot.
it can be a lot.
It is.
It's a pretty big concept.
Like trying to wrap your head around the cosmos.
Right.
Yeah,
How do we make this concept relatable,
that's the key.
more applicable to our daily lives?
Right. How do we see it?
How do we actually see it playing out?
So Blavatsky offers some great insights into that.
Okay.
She highlights the cyclical nature of karma.
Okay.
Just as there are cycles in nature, day and night,
Right.
the seasons, the tides,
Yeah.
there are also cycles in our karmic experiences.
So we can think of it like the ebbing flow of life.
Exactly. Good times and bad times, challenges, opportunities,
Yeah.
all coming in waves.
Like waves. Okay.
So if you're going through a difficult time,
Yeah.
it helps to remember it's part of a larger cycle.
Okay.
And just as night eventually gives way to dawn,
Right.
this phase will eventually transform into something brighter.
That's a helpful perspective. It's easy
Yeah.
to get caught up in the ups and downs.
Yeah, and forget that everything is in constant flux.
Exactly.
And Blavatsky also stresses recognizing those subtle ways
Okay.
that karma manifests in our daily lives.
Okay.
It's not always about these dramatic events or big life changes.
Yeah.
It can be as simple as a chance encounter,
Okay.
an unexpected opportunity,
Yeah.
even a gut feeling
Oh, interesting.
that nudges you in a different direction.
So those little synchronicities,
Yes,
seemingly random events.
could actually be signs of karma at play.
Wow.
It's about developing that awareness
Okay.
of the patterns in our life,
Of the pattern
the synchronicities,
Oh,
those
yeah.
subtle cues that guide us.
towards a deeper understanding.
Yes,
But what about those times when we feel stuck?
right.
Like we're repeating the same mistakes over and over.
Yeah, like you're caught in a karmic loop.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where Blavatsky's emphasis on free will
Okay.
becomes so crucial.
Okay.
She reminds that we're influenced by our past karma,
Yeah.
but not bound by it.
Okay.
We can choose to respond differently.
You can choose.
Yeah, break free from those patterns,
Okay.
create a new reality.
So it's like we're given a script
Okay,
based on our past actions,
Mhm.
but we have the power to improvise,
you got it.
rewrite the ending.
Exactly, and that's the potential of karma. It's not about being punished or rewarded
Right.
for those past deeds.
Okay.
It's about using those experiences as stepping stones
Stepping stones.
to self-realization.
So karma becomes a tool for growth, not a sentence.
Yes,
Powerful stuff.
we're not victims of fate.
We're active participants.
Yeah, shaping our destiny.
But as we delve deeper,
Mm-hmm.
it's natural to have some questions.
Of course.
Like, what about those times when bad things happen to good people?
Right.
Or vice versa?
Yeah,
How do we reconcile that with karma?
those are important questions.
are.
And Blavatsky cautions against trying to understand karma
We're
from
gonna-
a purely linear cause and effect perspective.
Okay.
She explains that karma operates on
Yeah.
multiple levels across time and space.
So we might not always see that immediate connection
Right.
between an action and its consequence.
Trying to pinpoint a single cause for a specific event
Yeah.
can be like trying to unravel a knot
Okay.
by pulling on just one strand.
One strand.
It's a vast interconnected web
Right.
of causes and effects.
Okay. So even if we don't always understand
Mm-hmm.
the intricacies of karma,
Right.
is there a bigger purpose at play?
Blavatsky assures us that there is.
Okay.
She explains that karma is ultimately a force for good,
Okay.
guiding us towards a greater awareness,
Okay.
compassion,
Mhm.
spiritual evolution.
So it's like a cosmic teacher
Yeah.
using every experience.
Pleasant and unpleasant
Yeah.
as an opportunity for
Sure.
transformation.
That's reassuring.
Yeah,
So even in the midst of suffering,
right.
there's a hidden opportunity
Exact.
for learning and evolution.
It's a reminder
Okay.
that we can approach life's challenges
Yeah.
with a sense of meaning and purpose.
So even when things feel really chaotic, there's this underlying order,
There is.
guiding us towards something greater.
Yeah, it's a hopeful way to look at it.
It is.
And it ties into this idea that Blavatsky brings up,
Okay.
that we can actually mitigate the negative effects
Okay.
of our past karma.
Okay.
We can't erase past actions,
Right.
but we can learn from them
Okay.
and make amends.
So is she talking about like apologizing for our mistakes?
It can be that,
Okay.
but it's more about genuine repentance,
Okay.
recognizing the harm we've caused,
Right.
and having that sincere desire to set things right.
Okay.
So it might involve apologizing,
Yeah.
performing acts of service, or
Yeah.
simply committing to living
Yeah.
a more ethical and compassionate life
So we can shift our karmic trajectory. We can
by consciously choosing to act differently.
exactly break those negative cycles.
Okay.
But what about when we're the ones who have been wronged?
Right.
How do we deal with that resentment?
Yeah, the pain.
Yeah, how does karma factor into that?
Right.
So Blavatsky brings up forgiveness,
Okay.
not as condoning the actions,
Right.
but as a way to free ourselves
Right.
from that burden of anger and bitterness.
Okay.
She's got this great line. She
Yeah.
says, holding on to resentment
Yeah.
is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Wow.
It only harms us in the long run.
Let go of that negativity so we can move forward.
Exactly.
But how does that work with karmic retribution?
Right.
Shouldn't the person who wronged us
Yeah.
face the consequences?
It's important to remember,
Yeah.
karma isn't about revenge or punishment.
Okay.
It's a self-regulating system,
Okay.
striving for balance
Okay.
and restoration.
Right.
The consequences of negative actions will manifest.
Okay. But forgiveness allows us to step outside that cycle.
Outside that cycle.
Oh, retribution.
So it's about rising above the need for revenge.
Yes.
And allowing karma to run its course.
Forgiveness is an act of self-liberation
Okay.
and compassion
Okay.
for ourselves and for those who have harmed us.
Right.
It allows us to recognize
Yeah.
that even those who have wronged us
Mm-hmm.
are on their own karmic journey,
Right.
facing their own challenges.
That's a big shift in perspective.
It is.
Seeing everyone, even those who've hurt us,
Yeah.
as part of this interconnected web
Right.
of karmic experiences.
Yeah, it's all connected.
But how do we bring these like lofty ideas
Right.
down to earth?
How do we use them?
Yeah, how do we actually use them in our daily lives?
So Blavatsky offers some really simple but powerful suggestions.
Okay.
Mindfulness.
Mindfulness, okay.
Paying attention to our thoughts,
Yeah.
words, and actions.
Okay.
Because every choice we make, no matter how small,
Yeah.
has karmic consequences.
So it's about being more conscious of the ripple effect.
Exactly.
Okay.
She also encourages us to practice kindness and compassion,
Okay.
not just towards others, but also towards ourselves.
Okay.
Self-criticism, judgment.
Yeah.
Those create negative karma.
Really?
Just as much as harsh words and actions towards others.
So treating ourselves
Yeah.
with the same understanding and care
Exactly.
that we would extend to a loved one.
Precisely.
Okay.
And finally, Blavatsky highlights living in alignment with
Okay.
our higher purpose, what's
Okay.
often called our dharma.
Dharma, right.
When we live in accordance with our soul's mission,
Yeah.
our actions naturally generate positive karma.
Okay.
It's like tapping into a source
Okay.
of boundless energy and creativity.
So it's about finding that unique contribution
Yeah,
we're meant to make
exactly.
and pouring our energy into it.
Yes.
But even with all this insight,
Mm-hmm.
there are still so many unanswered questions
Absolutely.
about karma, right?
Blavatsky admits
Okay.
that some aspects of karma remain a mystery,
Okay.
even to the most advanced spiritual seekers.
Wow.
She encourages us to approach this subject with humility
Right.
and wonder, recognizing that we might never fully grasp its
Yeah.
infinite depths.
So it's an ongoing exploration.
It is.
A lifelong journey of discovery.
And one that can lead us
Okay.
towards greater self-awareness, compassion,
Yeah.
and spiritual growth.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
Exploring karma is this universal principle of cause and effect.
Yeah.
Its connection to reincarnation and spiritual evolution,
Mm-hmm.
and how we can actually use this understanding
Right.
to make more conscious choices
Yeah.
and navigate life's challenges
Right.
with greater awareness and purpose.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It really has.
And hopefully it sparks further exploration for our
Yeah.
listeners.
Absolutely.
If karma truly is this universal law,
Yeah.
how does it manifest in your daily life?
Right.
What are the subtle ways your past actions shape your present experiences?
Mhm.
And how can you use this understanding to
Yeah.
create a more positive
A more
future
positive future.
for yourself and for the world?
Thank you all so much for joining us for this deep dive into karma.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another exploration of another fascinating topic.
Until then,
Keep seeking, keep questioning.
keep diving deep.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next episode on While We Were Distracted.